financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Hi, welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. The topic today is do what you have to do. We've got our regular crew, Brian Small, good to see you.
Pleasure to be here this morning, Ken.
Pat Simasko, our elder law expert, Simasko Law.
Thanks for having me.
Jeffrey Kirshner, workers' comp, Social Security disability, SSI disability expert, Kirshner Law.
Thank you. I'm ready to do whatever I have to do.
All right, why is the topic do what you have to do?
Because you named it that.
You're right, it's because I gave it a name. But where I'm coming from is people need to grab onto the notion that if you have an issue, sometimes you have to step beyond your comfort zone and do what you need to do to make the problem better. And it's not always the easiest thing, but if you're aware of it and you think about it, I think it helps create the confidence that you need to take the steps that need to do
Ken,
it.
you're so correct. Worrying about the problem is way worse than actually going to deal with the problem. Worrying and worrying and worrying and worrying makes it that drag out that much longer.
Yeah, I mean, I see it all the time, and you kind of you end up being like the mouse on the wheel, and you're sitting there just worrying about it, thinking about it, and you're all frazzled, but you're not jumping off the wheel, and you're not getting anywhere. You got to step forward. So I'm going to give us some scenarios of where this comes into play. The first one is, I think it comes to the basics of putting your financial house in order to attain your goal. And now, when we talk about financial crisis management, which is what we talk about a lot, I think I kind of want to tweak that a little bit, because I don't think you need to use the word crisis all the time. It's simply what you need to do. Crisis means they're taking my house. Crisis means I'm being sued. But it's beyond that. When it comes to your finances, you need to identify your goal and do what you need to do to get to the goal. So step one, I'll go to Brian, is what is the starting point of your financial goal?
The 3-point retirement plan.
And that is?
Own your own home free and clear. Have no debt when you retire. And have some money in the bank so that you can enhance your retirement, because Social Security isn't just going to be enough. It just isn't.
I call it the basic law of financial or for debt management. And what it's not is, it's not just find the cash.
Wait, your name isn't Susie Orman? See, Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, they have great solutions to how to help you deal with your financial situation, except for one thing. They all say, just find the extra money in your budget. And you're looking around going, where? And the reality is that the money does exist for most people. It's through the art of eliminating the waste in your budget. Budget management.
The debt.
Or eliminating the debt, but budget management
too, yeah.
is going to help you address which direction you should go to get rid of your debt and help you have money in the bank, your house paid off, and have no debt.
Here's the way I look at it. Here's the rule that ties into the topic of the day. You need to do what you have to do in order to preserve future income for you and your family. By accomplishing that, that's the trigger to getting to the goal of the 3-point retirement plan, having the house paid for, no debt, and some savings. Now, what do I mean when I say do what you have to do? What I mean, number one, and we can kick them around, is don't listen to those who espouse the views of the banking community that really don't care about you. What they care about is they want to invest your money. They want you to have your bank accounts with them. They want you to do all these things, and they play nice music in their commercials, and they have massive marketing budgets.
Don't forget, they want you to pay your credit card bills on time so that they can keep accruing all that lovely interest and all those additional charges and make money off of you owing them money. Yeah. And that's a killer.
In simple terms, I'll put it to you this way. Any financial institution that offers you as a service check protection, overdraft protection, when they're going to charge you $35 and $40 a pop for covering a $1 overdraft, if they offer that service, they don't care about you. Understand that, because that service is designed to line their pockets with gold and to make people broke. It's not a good service. Now you have to opt into it, because back in 2010, when they reformed the credit card bill law, they made that prohibited unless you opt in, but now they trick you to opt in.
Don't worry, that's going to change in the next few months anyway. They're going to get rid of all of those banking regulations, and the entire population of the United States will be at risk.
Oh, so you got the Wild Wild West coming.
We do have the Wild Wild West, which is why it's so very, very important to do what you have to do to protect you.
So where I come from is, that's the negative of what they're about. They're about them. What you need to do about yourself is you need to take, people come to us and say, I feel so guilty about being here. I have some financial problems and financial issues. When they leave, and when I talk to them, I say to them, don't even think that way. Take pride in the fact that you're going to solve the problem and that you're going to move forward. And don't let the banking community and the industry and societal views make you feel like you've done something wrong. It happens.
It's almost like they're trying to protect the bank at that point.
Most people, when they leave after an appointment, walk out of here and go, God, I feel so relieved. I didn't know I had choices. I didn't know I had opportunities to get myself out of debt. Right. And my future is now bright.
I look at it this way. It's business. Tackling debt issues is just a business problem. How you solve it is you use what available means are out there. You do what you have to do to accomplish it. If it's bankruptcy, you use the benefits of bankruptcy to get rid of the debt. Why? Because it's the fastest, least costly way of getting rid of debt. If bankruptcy isn't available, you use debt resolution. There are numerous different strategies to get rid of the debt. The point is, by getting rid of the debt, then you start saving that money and accumulating money for retirement and paying off the house, rather than just paying 20% interest on money year after year. You get nowhere.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Simasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Simasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, next do what you've got to do scenario. This is one for Pat. Mom and Dad. Dad has dementia and his health is faltering. He's still functioning. They own their own home, no mortgage, fair market value $250,000. $500,000 in savings. They lease 2 cars. They don't have any debt. Mom and the kids need to know what to do and what are the issues. And the first one I'm going to throw out is Dad's still driving the car.
That's the tough one, because Dad wants to be relevant. Dad wants to be important in his life, and the main thing about that is he's driven his whole life. And you say, Dad, I need to take the keys away. That is the biggest challenge.
It's a hard one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when I say you've got to do what you've got to do is at a certain point in time, Dad is a danger to other people on the road
sad thing, yeah.
and himself.
Right.
And if you don't do what you have to do, and God forbid something happens, and not only Dad gets injured, but other innocent people do, it's kind of on you.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't appreciate it.
Dad's not going to
Even if he appreciates some of it,
I'm only driving to the bank.
he's going to fight it. It's going to get better. He's going to get through it, and
So
then
you
it
got
becomes
2
even
options.
more of a problem.
If he's really demented, it's easy. You break the car. You take off. I thought I was going to be real smart one day. I go, you take off the distributor cap. And the client goes, we haven't had distributor caps for years. so I had to hang up my man's card there.
Dad, well, just don't cut the brake line.
Well, that, or you can notify the Secretary of State, and they'll make them come in for evaluation, a reevaluation, a driving test.
That can be
or
a
something
good
like.
strategy
Yeah,
for doing
blame it on the doctor. Have the doctor do it, but you have to do it to save himself, or more important, save the other people out
I
there.
went through that with my father. He ended up in Algonac, thinking he was in West Bloomfield
That
one Sunday
happens
night.
a lot.
And at that point, I left the car in Algonac, took him home, and
Must be
called
something
Ford
very
Credit.
attractive about Algonac.
You know what's beautiful is the river, and the road ends at the river, and people have
cars
driven
just keep
off.
going right
That's what he
It
almost
has
did.
happened,
That's
yeah.
the police. He was on the shoulder for like 500 yards, and the police officer was driving
Yeah.
behind him and said, "I thought he was going to go into the
Yeah.
water." The whole point being is, I probably should have pulled the trigger on him sooner than I did. You
Why
need to
didn't
deal with
you?
that. Same issue. It's
Dad
just
is
too hard.
dad.
It's too hard
Too
to
hard.
do it. I was wrong. You got to do what you've got to do, because if he ended up in Algonac, it means there had to have been incidents before that I'm
Right,
not aware of.
right. A lot of them.
So it was a mistake.
It only takes one. The
All right,
other
what
thing
about
is,
Medicaid plan?
You need, first of all, a lot of times the kids got to get involved, because you talk to mom about it. Mom's in as big a denial about this as dad. He's fine, I'm taking care of him. And if you talk to him, do you have all your paperwork in order? A lot of times they say, oh, we got our paperwork. Dad went to the lawyer back in 1964 when we were going down to Disney and we needed that will. The paperwork's not in order. You have
So
to
you
have
get that in
medical
order.
power of attorney, financial power of attorneys.
And people don't even realize that if their stuff is over 7 years old, it may not be HIPAA compliant anymore, and it may not be deemed to be
Right.
valid by a hospital.
And the
What
other,
about, nursing home.
Well,
if
other
Dad
big-
gets bad, the nursing home's going to cost him $9,000 to $12,000 a month for 31 months.
Right.
So it could wipe out all of the savings he
well,
has.
yeah, well, that's the next thing is people go out and they have their wills and their trust funds. You hear a lot about revocable trust, and people think if they have a trust, it magically solves every problem in the world, from credit issues or nursing home issues or probate issues. It doesn't. It's just a tool in the toolbox, and you have to have the right documents to fix that problem. And the typical revocable trust does not protect your assets if you're in a nursing home. So you need to go in and sit down with someone that actually knows about Medicaid, what's going on, what's our timing issues, what documents do we have, where do we have to tweak them up. If someone's going to die, maybe mom's really sick.
And here's where I say the do what you have to do problem comes in with Dad. You know, there's not an immediate urgency right now. His health is failing. He's got dementia, but he's not in the nursing home. He doesn't need to go. And you say, well, he's got $500,000. What about Mom?
Right.
If he ends up in the nursing home and it goes on for 32 months and it's $400,000, what's Mom going to do to live and support herself?
Right.
So even though there's a lot of money there, the bottom line is there isn't enough money there. And if you did proper Medicaid planning, you can save that.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, it's called the Spousal Impoverishment Act. They give us the tools to protect the assets for the spouse at home. We don't want to put the spouse out on the street to spend for the nursing home care. And one thing you don't have to do is ever get divorced. That's never an option that we ever use in our Medicaid planning. We don't need to divorce you to save every dime of the money if Dad's in a nursing. And you get the same care on a Medicaid as you do in a private pay. They think they're going to throw you down in some hole somewhere. It's virtually the same nursing home.
I think that's the biggest fallacy out there. People think, well, I don't want to have substandard care, so I don't want to do Medicaid.
Right.
Same nursing home.
Same bed.
Same bed. It's just
same
a question
beautiful
of how
dining
it's
experience.
Yeah, same bland food.
same beautiful experience.
You can get a plain egg and a piece of white toast.
The key is you don't want to go to the nursing home, so you want to protect your assets and use it for in-home care, assisted living care, and that's why it's important. You got to do what you got to do, which is protect your assets, so at the time you need them to keep you out of the nursing home, the money's going to be there for you.
So in a situation like with Dad, with the house and everything else, you would take care of the house and put it into what you call a home preservation trust, or would you do a Lady Bird deed?
Those are two different options. One, a Lady Bird deed is a plan to protect the house if you're in the nursing home right now, so the Medicaid won't take it after you pass away. The asset preservation trusts are, you may need to go in the nursing home 4 or 5 years from now. So you have crisis plans and then you have pre-plans. And as we all know, pre-plans usually work a lot better.
So in Dad's case, he needs to do a pre-plan that could convert into a crisis plan if he doesn't go 5 years. But the bottom line is, the do what you got to do in this case is Mom and the kids need to get Dad in with you and take care of the plan, because it ain't going to... Bottom line, it doesn't get better.
Right.
We'll be back after the break.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Fav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Fav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Simasko Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Simasko Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Simasko Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Fav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Fav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Tuesdays noon to 1, 6 to 7 p.m. for Law and Reality Live on WCHB 1200 AM 99.9 FM. Then on Thursdays 3 to 4 p.m. Law and Reality Now with Cliff Russell 9:10 a.m. We have seminars coming up on Wednesday, May 24th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. There's no better way to enjoy the summer than to become debt-free. This is focusing on all the systems and methods we use to eliminate debt so that you can preserve future income for you and your family. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or call 888-235-HELP. Remember, everyone's entitled to a free consultation at Thav Gross. All you have to do is go online, click the box for the consult that you want, or call 888-235-HELP. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business issues, elder law issues with Pat Simasko, disability and workers' comp issues with Jeff Kirshner. Just feel free, go to the websites and sign up. Take a look at the websites. We have 3 free reports, Business Formations and Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. That also has a lot of information on forming a new business, whether to use an LLC or a corporation, what you need to do with your lease and things like that. Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Simasko, and Reg X, How to Save Your Home, The Hidden Secrets and Avoid Foreclosure by yours truly. Thank our sponsors, Thav Gross, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law Office. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Next, do what you have to do scenario. I'll be the person. The neck and back pain I've endured so long has become unbearable. The doctors tell me that I need surgery and I'll be out for at least a year and maybe permanently as to being able to work. My concerns are this. I've got debt and I don't know what my options are in the way of collecting disability, and I'm kind of afraid of dealing with the issue. Let me give you my quick facts. My income is $100,000 a year, but if I stop working, it's going to go to zero. I have $50,000 of equity in my house. I have an IRA of $500,000. I have liabilities. I owe credit card debt $80,000, medical bills $15,000. I want to know, what do I do about my debt? Jeff, what do I do about disability? I'm only 55. Am I eligible to collect Social Security disability when I have this kind of, when I do have some money in the bank?
Sure. So you're not eligible for SSI, Supplemental Security Income, because you exceed that asset level, which is $2,000 for an individual, $3,000 for a married couple. But Social Security Disability, which is the better of the two benefits, because that pays you based on what you've paid into the system. If you're disabled for 12 months or longer, or the anticipated duration of your disability is 12 months or longer, then yes, you are absolutely eligible, and we need to do something about that.
So I go and I have the surgery, and it turns out I can't work. I can apply for the disability, or could I apply now, or?
I would recommend, if it is anticipated that it's going to be a long time, you get a poor prognosis from your doctor, it's already been a couple months, by the time you have surgery, it's pretty much been already a couple months, then you got to come see me. I do the application process online, but it's kind of a twofold thing. I need you to work with me to do the application process, because that's going to take a while. You're going to apply, usually takes 2 to 4 months to get an initial decision. More likely than not, without permanent paralysis, a life-threatening illness, you're going to be denied, and then you'll have 60 days in which we need to file what's called a disability appeal, or a request for hearing.
Look how bad my situation is. How much money will I get if I on the Social Security Disability?
Well, it depends on your earnings. Average is $1,500 to $1,600, capped at about $2,700, $2,800 a month.
So I'm going to have that to live on, because I'm not going to have another job. So Brian, I do have $500,000 in my IRA, but I got to get. What do I do about all this debt?
Well, you have an interesting problem, because a Chapter 7 bankruptcy seems to be the obvious solution, except for one little caveat. With $50,000 of equity in your home, and if you're the only...
I'm married.
Oh, okay, well, still, with $50,000 of equity in your home, you can't protect all $50,000 worth of equity, even if you're a married couple and you own the house together, unless you own it tenancy by the entireties and you have no joint debt. Now, if you have any joint debt, we can protect about, under the Michigan exemptions, $37,000 equity, under the federal exemptions, about $45,000 equity, and we'll have to make a settlement with the trustee for the difference.
So the equity, so 45, I'm only got 50,000 of equity.
Can you pull out more equity if you need to live on? Because you're going to be waiting for that Social Security check.
That could be an option while you're still working.
Before I stop working at the surgery, take out an equity line.
Pull a little bit out.
Pull a little bit out.
Which makes it so very important why you need to, A, do what you have to do,
early.
And B, the earlier you plan it, the better off you are. Your back's hurting, you know there's a possibility you're not going to be able to go back to work, get in to see me then.
So
Let's make the right assessment.
This is one where I need to see Jeff and Brian together.
I'll tell you something, everybody that's filed for Social Security Disability
needs to have a debt analysis.
Needs to see me.
But not only that, not only do you need to see Brian, you may even need to see Pat for some estate planning issues, clearly issues. Not only do you need to see me to file, but with regard to your medical, you need to get on board with your doctors. You need to be proactive in terms of allowing them to know exactly what's going on with you and your limitations, so that they weave that into their medical records. So it's not just you testifying about your pain or side effects of medication, it's that it's already in the medical records.
So it's a do what. Not only do you do what you have to do, you need to involve everyone. Your doctor, Jeffrey from the standpoint of the work or the Social Security disability claim, Brian from debt. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.